start to put tension on my string drawback, I was like, okay, I'm gonna switch.
It's him. You can look at the horns when he's dead. I'm in the zone. Let the arrow go is perfect.
So when they lose their front shoulders, you start, that's how you know it's smoking.
Went about 5-10 more yards. We probably went 20 yards total. Tipped them. We tried getting back up. And I saw him pull up.
We rushed 4 meters rods that night. We got like 166 and something like that. And then the next day we came up to 163 even.
You're listening to the White Cat Outdoors podcast, bringing you to the table where we talk about the outdoors.
Welcome to episode 64, everybody. And I would like everyone to know that this episode is brought to you by Andy Larsen. And this episode and almost every episode is made possible due to his hard work at Waste Management that allows me to get out just a little bit earlier than him so I can be here to get into your ear holes and you guys can enjoy our podcast. So everyone give a big round of applause for Andy Larsen. Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Thanks,
I'm thanking
Andy.
you.
Thank you,
Andy.
Andy.
Yeah, we appreciate it. Where are we going next here? I've been thinking about this since last week.
Yeah,
Because it launched while we were podcasting last week.
Yeah, literally mid-podcast.
Yeah.
So I think it's only fair that we start with this, Frank.
Yeah.
So we're mobile hunters. We enjoy,
mobile hunting.
exactly.
A good mobile hunt.
Yeah, and Tethered is a brand that's into the saddle game. Big-time saddle guys. And I dabble in saddles. I wouldn't say I'm a saddle guy by any means. But anyway, Tethered...
Tell you what, I'm going to try saddle hunting this year just because of this ad.
Yeah. So Tethered released the Tethered
Promotion,
One,
I guess.
Tethered One Stick. It's a 16-ounce climbing stick with the attachment method, which is, for whatever reason, people don't count the attachment method as part of the weight, but they did, and it's 1 pound. Hence the name Tethered One Stick. It's a titanium stick, really, really nice. Looks nice. I can't say that it is nice because I haven't tried it. But what is nice was their promo for their release.
Yeah. I don't even care about the stats of the stick. All I care about is that they got Bruce frickin' Buffer to announce.
Yeah, I mean, it's time out of the red corner, fighting from public lands all over the U.S. Yeah, it was absolutely
hilarious.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Best promo ad I've ever seen in my entire life.
Yeah, hands down, nobody compares. I don't think anybody will ever compare, in my mind.
No, because even if you got Bruce Buffer, it's already been done.
Yeah.
I think Tethered has the best product launch, I think, possible.
Yeah. Tough to beat.
Yeah. So, awesome for you guys, Tethered. I've used the Menace from Tethered, so it's a good product, but
yeah,
their promotional stuff is off the charts.
Yeah. Definitely off the charts. I got a phenomenal laugh out of it. Because like we said, it launched mid-podcast, and at the end of the podcast, Nick was like, guys, you gotta watch this.
Yeah.
And I've probably watched it 15 times
hilarious.
in the last week.
Everybody, have you seen it?
Same here. Everybody I've talked to, I'm like, have you seen this video?
Yeah.
And I'm sure that's exactly what they were going for. So
yeah.
they're killing it.
Yeah, they hit the nail on the head.
You could say that.
It was good stuff. Other housekeeping things I want to go over is we're launching our Patreon account. Full nudity and everything. No, I'm just kidding. No, so basically...
That's Tom's job.
Yeah. It's no secret that the podcast costs money, so we launched our Patreon, but what we're going to do with that is we're going to be giving away stuff every quarter. So if you're a Patreon member, that's all you got to do. You got to subscribe, help us out, pay for our hosting fees and whatnot, and you're going to be entered to quarterly giveaways for gear. The more we get, the bigger the prizes will get, the more quantity of the prizes will be thrown out there. But to start, the first 20 members that we get joined in are going to be entered into a mobile hunting gear giveaway. So first 20, that's it. So you get 1 in 20 chance for just 17 cents a day. That's
a deal.
Name another lottery.
As Joe Dirt would say.
Yeah, that's the deal.
Dang!
That's the deal he wants. So 1 in 20 chance for 17 cents a day. It's a no-brainer. I could enter, but I won't.
You shouldn't.
So
I won't
basically,
let you.
we're going to give the choice to the winner for the mobile setup. We are going to be giving away one of the 3 items to their choice. A Novix Echo Hang-On with a set of mini climbing sticks, or a trophy line covert light with a EDP platform and Novix mini climbing sticks. Or if you're not into the hanging sticks and a lock-on or a saddle, which is okay, we're also going to be offering a Lone Wolf portable stands flip-top climber, which is the ultimate climber for bow hunters. The entire system is, I think, sub 20 pounds.
It's not bad for a
Which
climber.
it's amazing if you think about it, because even your 14-pound lock-on, which is nice, that's your average lock-on, you still need 4 climbing sticks to get up to hunting height. This is the entire thing is under 20 pounds because you climb with it.
Yeah.
So basically, if you win, you tell us, hey, I'm a climber guy, I want that climber. Or, hey, I've been looking to get into saddles, I'd like the saddle setup. And all you got to do is send us your address, and we're just going to drop ship it right to you.
Yeah. So sign up for the Patreon to get in on that action.
So you said the 17 cents a day.
Yeah.
I'm not real good with the math.
$5 a month.
$5 a month.
Yep.
Okay. So $60 a year.
Yep, that's it. Yeah, so
is it a monthly thing?
Yep, it's a monthly subscription. You sign up, and it's like a subscription like Apple Music.
Or OnlyFans.
Yeah, but instead of like shitty Apple Music, you get to support and be a part of like the awesome White Cat Outdoors podcast.
A family-owned and operated small business.
Yeah,
Fact.
Exactly. You're a part of it, and you'll be helping fund it.
And, the whole thing, like, through the whole coronavirus is, like, support small businesses. And here we sit. So,
17 cents a day. I mean, that's literally less than a gumball.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is less than a gumball.
Yeah, and I have at least one gumball a day. So if I got rid of those gumballs, I would be able to do it. So...
And then some.
Yeah, and so that's the lowest tier. We also threw a $10 a month in. Basically same rules, but you get entered twice. So even after the first 20, every quarter you'll have your name in the hat twice. So you pay
dig it.
So for 34 cents a day, which still really isn't much.
It's just slightly more than a gumball.
Yeah, less than 2 gumballs.
Less than 2 gumballs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So 34 cents a day. Come on. I mean, you can't even get a cup of coffee for that.
No, you can't. I don't drink coffee,
And
but
we jack you up way more than a cup of coffee would.
yeah,
anyway.
we do.
So I say sign up, and like I said, first 20, 1 in 20, you're going to get a $500 system. Just
for signing up.
Yeah, just for signing up.
$5.
And if you don't win that, there's quarterly giveaways. Every 3 months, we're going to be doing more giveaways. So, like, why would you not?
Yeah, doesn't make sense.
How about you tell them how to sign up?
There's going to be, we're going to run an ad that sends you right to our Patreon account, but it's Patreon. White Cat Outdoors, just look it up, and on the Patreon website.
Yeah.
Look up White Cat Outdoors. It's right there. We'll have a link in our bio on Facebook and Instagram, and from here on out in every podcast.
Excellent.
So it can be super easy. You're not going to have to message us like, hey, how do I do it? But if you do, I'll still tell you.
Feel free
It's
to
awfully
message.
kind of you.
Yeah. So value of $500. That's insane.
Yeah, for $5.
Yeah.
A month.
A month. $60 a year.
Yeah.
17 cents a
Take
day.
you almost 10 years.
Yeah. There's like the pets for ASPCA. They want more than 17 cents a day.
Yeah.
Can you believe that?
That's unreal.
Yeah. It's only 17 cents.
Huh.
Crazy.
All right.
After that, we have one other thing.
Last little sweep up.
Yeah. One last little thing. I'm sure if you guys have ever listened to the podcast, you know our buddy old Keith Sharp. And today, Wednesday, is his birthday. So we're going to surprise him with a phone call, and we're going to just see how he's been doing. I know he's been getting outside. He's been hitting the shed woods looking for that white gold. So we're going to call him out of nowhere and just see.
I asked Nick before the podcast, I was like, did you plan this with him? Like, is he expecting our phone call? And he was like, absolutely not. So this will be...
Hey there, brother. How you doing?
Oh, good, dude. Good. Just working till 9 tonight.
Yeah, I should let you know you're live on the podcast right now.
Oh, am I really?
Yeah, we decided to call you and wish you a happy birthday on the podcast and just see how you've been doing out with the Shedwoods lately.
Oh, sounds good, but I hope my boss isn't listening. But
We'll cut that work part out.
Yeah, you're at home.
yeah, it's been actually a slow season, truthfully. I've been out quite a bit, and I personally think I should have a lot more than I've got. I've got 5 so far, but I've really started hitting some good spots now that the snow just melted out. So I'm hoping to up my numbers here a little bit, but Really, it's been kind of a slow season because there's a lot more guys out there grinding, trying to find sheds, more than I've seen the last few years. But so a lot of my spots I try to go to, that are the most popular spots, try to hit them first before any of the other clowns get there. So
I know it seems like there's shed hunting groups popping up everywhere on Facebook and Instagram. It's definitely.
I've gotten an invite to 2 different groups for shed hunting.
Yeah, there's one particular group that tries to add me on a daily basis.
Yeah. But
yeah.
since you're at work, buddy, we won't keep you. But we just wanted to call and wish you a happy birthday.
You guys are good. Yeah. I appreciate the call and the and let me talk on your podcast here. But no, I appreciate the call and hopefully it's a good birthday. I wanted to sneak out a little bit for my lunch break and shed hunt at work a little bit, but it's probably not going to look like it.
But
But
All right,
awesome,
well,
guys.
happy
Appreciate
birthday,
it.
buddy.
Yeah,
Hey,
Keith,
thanks,
happy
guys.
birthday.
all right, we'll
Yeah,
talk to you
sounds
later.
good, guys.
Yep.
See ya.
Bye.
What a good guy.
Keith's a great guy. He really is. He really
Big
is.
time deer hunter, big time shed hunter, big time turkey hunter. It's all around.
Yeah, all
Good
around
guy.
good guy.
Yeah. So.
So I guess that brings us to the meat of the podcast now.
Yep. That would be it. This week we're going to be breaking down the headquarters. We've talked about the headquarters before, but we've got some major property management going on this year. From more food plots to
I think the biggest change would be the whole bedding area plan.
yeah, bedding that's going to be probably the biggest
big change.
biggest change. We're going to be doing some trail making, I guess. I had a better word for it earlier. Trail
Trailblazing?
system.
System.
Yeah.
Sounds professional.
Systematic trails through the property.
Yes.
You kind of trailed off
Yeah.
there. You
I can't hear
you
you.
started strong.
Yeah.
Now you sound like an
we're
idiot.
We're doing trail systems and bedding area creation.
And let me tell you, we used to have some great bedding on this property. There was a beautiful goldenrod field, and there was just like one little creek that ran through there. And over the years, beavers have really taken over, and now there's like 3 ponds.
Have you ever seen, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but have you seen the meme? It's like Michael Jordan, like in his documentary that he has, and he at one point in it he says, and I took that personally. And like the meme is like beavers see water flowing through the woods, and I took that personally.
Yeah.
That's exactly
That's
it.
what happened here.
Yeah,
we,
so
we
this,
trap them every year. We pull a half a dozen beavers out of there, and they just
the issue is the swamp goes like 6 properties down. It's huge.
Yeah.
So we take all the beavers out of our property. Well, the ones from the next property up just move down. So it's like a never-ending supply of beavers.
and beaver's really good. So
Yeah.
Yeah, we get to eat good from it. So
but
anyway, yeah, so we kind of lost that bedding, and we really don't have any good solid bedding on the property anymore.
Yeah, just a little bit.
I mean, there's a couple hidden goldenrod fields, and
It helped this year that the guy didn't take hay off, and that the big field had quite a bit of.
yeah, and that's part of our
Yeah.
long-term plan with the tree planting and stuff that
Yeah.
we'll be talking about. But I think I'll hand it back to Tom to kind of lay out the bedding, because I mean you kind of started with the beavers and stuff, but lay out our plans for the bedding area and what we're doing and why.
okay, so this is going to be tough to paint a picture. Basically,
Do we need to call in Bob Ross from the grave?
I thought
Yeah.
you were good with shapes.
this is a picture.
It's
so
a painting.
we're going to divide the property basically into thirds, okay? Just just one section of the property we're going to divide into thirds, not the entire thing. Anyway, there's a
Just
section.
the very tip.
We're just going to make matters simple, a 10-acre beaver swamp, and then a 10-acre flat of timber, and then another 10-acre beaver swamp. So there's 2 beaver swamps with a flat of timber in the middle. And it works out really good because the flat in the middle is elevated quite a bit higher than the 2 beaver swamps. Everything kind of rolls down to the beaver swamp, so it's good, solid, dry ground. There's no big mud puddles or anything. It's
No cricks run through it at all.
yeah, it's perfect. So what we're going to do is we're going to take that 10
This
acres.
is mature timber, never been logged.
Yeah, never been logged. But there is a lot of undergrowth.
Yeah, well, I guess what I'm getting at is like it's mature timber through there for
Yeah.
the most part.
But what we're going to do is go through that 10 acres and just make it a mess. We're going to hinge cut this whole 10-acre section. And we've been doing our homework on, how you want to cut the trees to make them fall a certain
Been
way.
reading a lot with Jeff Sturgis. He's like one of the biggest like whitetail habitat management guys out there right now.
Right.
He's been doing it for 20 years or something like that.
And what works out really nice is because this section of the property is it's like the middle of our property.
Yeah.
So, if the bedding is in the middle of the property, the deer are going to be moving
From the center
from the center out and then from out back to the center. So they're always going to be working back and forth out of your property.
And the food plots are on like the one edge of it,
Yeah. And
basically.
yeah, we're
on
actually
the opposite side of the property line. Basically, we're
Yeah.
keeping our theory is to keep the deer on our property as much as possible.
Yeah.
you can't obviously keep a deer to a small parcel of
Well,
land,
you
but
can. Just takes a really high fence.
yeah, about 11 feet.
But we're not putting a fence up.
No, so yeah, we're going to go through and hinge cut. And basically, I don't know if you guys know what hinge cutting is or not. So we're just briefly going to explain it. Basically, what you do is, we're not doing this to 16-inch diameter trees. You hinge cut trees that, like,
Almost can get your hands around.
yeah, brought no more than an 8-inch diameter probably. And basically, you cut about 3/4 of the way through it at shoulder to chest height.
Yeah, Jeff Sturgis puts it, right around like armpit height, and that's
there's
just because
no need
it's a
to be
safe.
holding a chainsaw up at eye level.
Yeah.
And that's exactly
exactly.
his theory. Like, you shouldn't have a chainsaw up at that height. You have a lot more control from like a little above your waist to your armpit.
Yeah. So basically, you're going to want to cut about 5/6 through this tree, and then kind of tip it over so the bark on the opposite side is still connected. And what that's going to do is create a path for the nutrients to still make it from the root system up to the leaves. And for several years after you do this, the leaves will actually still turn green, and the deer
And
will
you'll
eat.
get sprouts from the area that it was cut
Yeah, so it makes great browse for the deer.
at
And
about head height for a deer.
yeah. And what it's also going to do is let a bunch of sunlight in to let some undergrowth come in. And we bought a bunch of basically like bushes, berry bushes that we're going to plant throughout there as well.
That's going to be a mistake. I'm going to be eating berries the whole time.
No, nobody goes into the hinge cut.
It's like the
Stay the hell
Bermuda
out.
Triangle. Once
Yeah.
you go in, you never come out.
Yeah.
But yeah, so basically what we're trying to create is an area where the deer feel safe. There's going to be a lot of undergrowth that's going to grow up as nice bedding, and there's going to be plenty of browse for them. So they really have no reason to leave. They got food and shelter.
And then we'll
Right
have our
there.
food plots for high protein.
Not
Plenty of-
far away.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
plenty of cricks running through
Just
there,
a
so they got water.
stone's throw away.
Yeah, but the property had, when we first started hunting it, it was timber. When we started hunting it, we brought the food aspect in for 'em. And just the couple years that we've been doing food plots, we've gone from seeing nothing but yearling bucks to having.
We've almost, I would easily doubled, possibly tripled the size of the deer that we're getting on camera and
Yeah.
shooting.
Oh yeah, we have multiple nice 8 points on camera each year now, and we actually had a batch of group
I
of
would say,
10s.
yeah, I was gonna say it's
this
probably.
year.
I would say that 115 mark is pretty average now.
Yeah, where it used to be a fork horn was like, okay, now
Yeah.
we're in business.
Yeah. So
Yeah, if
I
you
would
got
say
a
it's-
basket 6, you were like,
Yeah, you're the man.
Yeah, where I would say now it's not uncommon to see 115 inchers
Yeah. And we've had several 125s,
on camera.
maybe flirting 130.
Yeah, yeah,
Maybe.
with the 10s probably.
Yeah.
But that was unheard of 5
Oh,
years ago.
Yeah, for
but
sure.
our issue was we got them all summer long, and then
They disappear.
They disappear. So that's why we're putting in this 10-acre bedding area, so now they're gonna have food, water, and bedding, all on this parcel of land. Hopefully, keep them there. Obviously, they're gonna run around and chase doe and go wherever they want in the rut. But if we can make,
But if the does are bedding there,
Yeah. And a mature buck, their average home range is 60 acres. So, and I don't know that we're going to get mature bucks up because this is 4.5 and older. It might be a few years before
that's what I mean. We're on a even 25-year plan. If you think about
this
it,
isn't like, okay, in 3 years we're going to be killing booners.
I mean, this is
here.
a property that's, it's ours. It's not a lease. We can really, it's a 25-year plan because even with, the bedding is going to, I would say in 3 years, you're going to have, the bedding is going to be premier.
Prime, yeah.
The food sources we're constantly planning food sources out there for them. And the 25-year aspect of it is the large amount of oak trees we're introducing to the property and fruit trees.
And pine trees.
And
pine trees. So we're setting up some long-term goals here to have, a 100+ acre parcel that's just absolutely perfect whitetail heaven.
Yeah.
With a beautiful cabin on it.
Yeah, and I think that's a lot of thing, I said a lot of thing. A big thing that a lot of people overlook is they see deer like how we were seeing deer all summer long, then they disappear, and they're like, oh, shit, well, I guess I'll just have to try to set up in just the right spot. But they don't think to the point of modifying their property.
Or, they don't realize that it's not that you can't find them on your own property, it's that they're not there.
Yeah.
They went somewhere else.
Yeah. So if you do all the things, do the right things, not to say you're going to keep every deer that you see on your little piece, but if you give them more reasons to be in your area, then you're going to have more deer hanging around and circling through your area. They're still going to filter in and out, but
yeah, you're still going to get those rut bucks that come in, but we're providing every opportunity for them to stay there. Like a 10-acre bedding area is huge, and it's covered with a big red brush and cattail swamp on each end.
Yeah, so in our 10-acre modification, there's a 10-acre swamp here and a 10-acre swamp here. So just with playing with 10 acres, you've made 30 acres.
30 acres of, they're not, the thing is, they don't bed in that swamp.
They used to.
Yeah, until it was filled with water.
Yeah.
But they still move through it and they hide in it.
So if you can control that to where now they have the bedding in between and you turn 30 acres for them to feel comfortable in,
instead of just 10 and then they have to cross through a shitty spot to get to 10 more.
Yeah.
You easily create 30 acres with minimal work.
Yeah. And I mean, we're creating, along with this, staging areas close to the bedding up by the food sources. So in the way the property's laid out and the way we're doing this, we're also paying attention to like predominant winds.
Yeah.
So we're literally making, it's almost like a Minecraft game where we're putting it exactly.
Don't say that.
Yeah,
I hate Minecraft.
But I mean, you think about it, you're customizing the property.
Yeah, you really
with
are.
Some elbow grease and some gasoline.
How much gasoline are we using?
Chainsaws.
Oh,
Just a little bit.
right.
So what I'm getting at is we're customizing it because we know what the predominant winds are and putting the bedding where it should be and the food plots where they are so you can hunt them accordingly.
And stay out of.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
which moves on to our next point on
building a ravine.
Yeah, that would be it.
We need a really big excavator if anyone feels like donating it.
No, the trail system.
The trail system.
I was looking at the canyon. No, the trail system is going to be something for ease of access through the property and quiet access, like Frank had mentioned, being able to get into these places without disturbing deer.
Yeah.
So we're going to be adding a trail system through the property because right now there's 0 trails.
I was just going to say, I have this one stand that I love to hunt, but I've tried approaching it from like every angle, and it's just not a good stand to get to. It's a phenomenal spot, but you can't get to it effectively. And just last year, while I was up in Alaska, so I didn't help at all, Nick and
Thank
Tom,
you for bringing that out.
Yeah, I give credit where credit's due. You guys put in a trail to that, so even though it's still through the same area, you can do it quietly.
Yeah.
So you're not...
And how did that affect your hunts there?
Honestly, I didn't hunt it a ton this year, but I was definitely able to get in quieter because before, like almost every time I would walk into that stand, in the morning anyway, I would hear deer busting out. And this year, the couple times that I went in there, I'd move in get up in, and then 10 minutes later, I'd have deer coming in. But if you guys hadn't have made that trail there, I'd be blowing those deer out that were coming in right after I got in.
So the whole idea of this is to add a silent travel corridor, like for us to go through, like
And the deer will use them.
Yeah,
the deer
they'll
will-
use it.
Yeah, the deer will use them too. But right now, like besides that trail we just put in, you're walking through leaves and stepping on sticks in the middle of the dark.
And it's really nice when you have a new guy hunting up there,
Yeah.
trying to tell him how to get to a stand.
Right, yeah, because it's literally like, go about 400 yards past the stop sign down the road, cut in there, and you'll
Take a right at the third big pine tree.
because there's no trail system. You just have to know.
You have to know the property.
Yeah, and with 2 swamps, it can get very difficult to describe.
Yeah.
Where stands are.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a huge added benefit for us and the deer. Like we were talking before we hit record, right now, like if you're hunting by the food sources or anything in the morning, you park your truck up at the field, shine your headlights right out into the field, an hour before it gets light. It's not really doing yourself any favors.
Yeah.
So this way, with trails, we'll be able to sneak in quietly without lights, get into those stands close to that new bedding area. While the deer are still out in the field, they'll never even know you're in there, and then boom, you kill them. Just
Done
like
deal. Simple.
Yeah,
I'm sure we'll have all of us are killing big deer this year. Just
it's gonna happen.
yeah,
120s or better.
nothing but.
Setting the standard.
You heard it here first.
So beyond like the trails, Tom, I know this is more. We'll all be helping, but you're the one that put the order in for the trees.
Right.
So if you want to break down what trees we talked about in the past, we talked about how we planted like the white oaks and the pines. But why don't you break down the trees that we're introducing this year and kind of our reasoning behind them?
So I bought a bundle. I think I bought like 25 chestnut trees. The reason I bought chestnut trees is because deer can go anywhere to get an acorn. And we put a bunch of oak trees on our property, but not a lot of properties have chestnuts. Mm-hmm. And if you put chestnuts on your property, the deer will find it.
Yeah.
So
My dad's said that for years. He was telling me to put them on my property that I bought a couple of years ago. He's like, where do you find chestnut trees? Like, the deer love to eat them, and they can't find them anywhere. So if you have them, they're going to come to them.
yeah, so your dad actually told me that, and I was like, yeah, I should get some chestnuts.
So you basically have a food plot that you only have to plant once for the next 150 years.
yeah, and they start producing nuts like wicked quick.
Yeah.
So, any hooser, we got those going on, and do you have something to say?
I was gonna say, so they drop their nuts pretty early. I wasn't gonna say.
Normally a feller's balls don't drop till he's 65.
I was gonna keep it in, but you asked. so
Tom had to bring it up.
There it goes.
I just saw that stupid grin on your face.
Classic interruption from me. But
Classic.
Go ahead.
Anyway, so we got the chestnut trees, and like I said, we got those berry bushes to put in the bedding and then throughout the field. Just create a little bit more cover, give the deer some more browse. And then what I'm really amped up about is the fruit trees.
What kind of fruit?
Apple and pears.
There's some
Pears. I
plums.
like pears.
And plums, yes.
What
I
kind
don't
of
like
apple
plums.
trees?
There was some Granny Smith. There's
Well, you
some...
got good apples.
Yeah. Which works out good because we're north of I-90. Apparently you can't grow Granny Smith south of I-90. Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah. I didn't know that.
Who told you that?
Dad. And then we looked it up on a tree chart.
Yeah,
They
well,
show,
there's like a bunch of
there's
different
like
zones for trees, and when you buy them, there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, like the
And
zones.
90s part of the zone, huh?
Yeah,
But there was, I think you said Granny Smith's, Honeycrisp,
I think so.
and
Those
maybe
are good
Northern
apples, too.
Spies.
Yeah.
I like Northern Spies a lot. Wow,
So-
you got great apples for eating.
Yeah, I figured if I like them, the deer will like them.
Exactly.
And then some, I don't remember what the pears were.
Prickly.
No, just
That's a cactus.
That doesn't sound very comfortable to eat.
your standard pear. But the thing of it is, you got to get 2 apiece because you
Trees are horny.
they're what?
They're horny.
Yeah, you need cross pollination. So
Get the cross-mogenation in there.
So, yeah, I got 2 of each trees, and it totaled up to, I think, just this first set were 12 fruit trees, I believe.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, because we got
2
like, 3 different-
pears, There's
Yeah.
like 2 pears,
6
4
apple.
or 4 pears, 2 plums, 4 pears, the rest apple.
Tom's
whatever.
not math. Just don't add that up.
There's some fruit trees in there.
We also got some bushes.
I already talked about the bushes.
You just brushed over the berry bushes. I was excited about the mulberry bush, mainly because the bears.
Because we're buying a monkey and a weasel.
No,
Darn.
bears love mulberries, and
My great grandma had a monkey.
I think my mom's cousin had a monkey too.
She sold it, and then the guy said, like, this is a week later.
He won't chase my weasel. Take it back.
No, he said, hey, I want to return this thing. And my great grandma said, no, all sales are final. And a couple weeks later, he said, I don't want my money back, but I'm dropping off your monkey.
That's a great story. Oh man.
But anyway, we've had bears on camera in the past, and last year was the first year I saw one like in the flesh while I was hunting. So I was kind of like, we should introduce some food for him. You know, we got blackberries along the like just wild blackberries around the edge of the field, but I read that they really like mulberries. So
They like salmon, too.
yeah, well, we got the stream, so maybe with a good hatch, we'll have some this year, Tom.
Yeah.
So we've got the mulberry bushes for them, some other fruit trees that we're going to place throughout the bedding, or fruit bushes.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, no, we're not putting the fruit trees in the bedding. We're actually making
orchard.
an apple orchard up by the cabin.
That'll be sweet.
But it's funny, though, because we have deer come through the front yard all the time. Like, every morning, there's deer tracks, like, right out in front of the cabin. Tom's one stand, you can actually see you can't see the cabin, but you can see the top of the field where the cabin is.
If there's a fire going, you can
Yeah.
see the smoke.
But I was
coming
there
out.
the one day, and I had a buck come through behind me in the woods and shot up right in front of the cabin and then out across the field.
That's a good spot, too, because that's only like 100 yards from the cabin. I put the stand in, and I thought it was going to be a really good rifle stand because you can see like 500 yards across this giant open field. Turns out it's a great bow stand, too. I don't know why.
They're all in bow range, everything you see.
Yeah, they'll come out 500 yards away, but for some reason they always work their way
Right
right
to
to
that
where that
spot.
stand is. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, you got a pretty heavy trail just 7 yards in the woods.
Yeah,
behind you.
and I think the big thing is it's basically this field's right on the edge of the big hillside, and the stand is only, I don't know, maybe 30 yards from where the hill drops down and it gets super steep. So I think they just run that ridge. It's only, a 30-yard stretch of woods before it gets to the big open field, and I think they just work that 30-yard stretch of woods right along the top of that ravine along the edge of the field.
Nice, easy walking for him.
Yeah, but yeah, it's crazy because you'll see deer pop out like as far as you can see, and within 30 minutes you're there right underneath you. It's kind of cool. Mm-hmm. But
Yeah, you and I kicked around, jumping around different spots, looking where to put that stand, and settled on that spot, and it ended up being the money spot.
yeah,
It's almost like we know what we're doing, Tom.
almost.
Yeah.
It's like we should just get on air and talk about it.
We should sometimes.
It's not a bad idea.
Just hit record and just, maybe bring some people to the table while we talk about it.
Yeah, well, we
could
talk
do-
about the outdoors.
We could do that.
We'll look into it. Maybe start something up.
Yeah.
Final thing for property management we're doing is the food plots, which people know.
Oh, the food plots.
Yeah. Food plots are nothing new. People understand those, but I think our layout of our food plots and what we're providing in the food plots, I think, is not different, but I think it's extremely smart. I think
I'd
You
say it's
buy
different.
like 4-year-old beans so they don't grow,
yeah,
and yeah,
I guess
it
it's a
works
little-
out well. I like to say that the deer just mowed them down before
Yeah.
they fully matured.
That's not what you do.
So I guess, Tom, you're right. It's a little bit different from your typical. We actually, speaking of, stopped up to Grandpa's the other day. He's got a antique 2-row corn planter for a 3-point hitch.
Oh, man.
So might be doing some corn this year. Actually, he said we're doing corn.
Cutting some corn.
My grandpa's really big into restoring old equipment, whether it's boats, tractors, or farm equipment now. He got an old Oliver 3-point hitch I think he might have converted it to a 3-point hitch. Either way, 2-row corn planter, like wheel driven, like it's not off your PTO.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's old. It's really cool. Yeah, it's got 2 huge wheels that are they have like a channel in them. It's driven off those wheels, but that's also what mounds the dirt around the corn being planted. It's really
That's
really
whack.
cool. And it literally looks factory, like completely. He restored it, brought it back to factory paint, everything.
And you're gonna take it out into a field and chew it all
He
up.
said we're going to.
Okay.
But anyway, Tom, break down the differences in our food plot layout.
Well, the big thing is we're up in farm country, where as far as you can see, it's corn and soybean fields, which it's good to have soybeans. That's a great source of protein. It's good to have corn because not only it's like a
Good and good for you.
yeah.
Something to eat, and they like to hang out, and they
Yeah.
can hide in it.
What I was thinking, it's good for the winter because it's like you see
amazing.
those Snicker bar commercials where like
You're not you when you're hungry.
yeah, it gives you like that quick burst of energy. It's not like a good long-term fix for the deer.
It'll
Like
get you going.
yeah,
It's amazing.
it is. It really is.
Maize.
So it's definitely
Corn is maize.
corn is maize, everybody.
All 3 of us went for a sip at the same time.
We did. That was wild.
Awkward air silence.
Anyway,
Good to have corn and soybean around, but I don't know what it is with deer, but if there's something different, that's what they want.
yeah.
So
You always want what you can't have.
yeah, Nick did some research and he found this stuff. And I don't even know if I want to talk about it because everyone's going to start doing it and it's not going to be a little secret anymore. But we're going to go out there and say it because that's what we want is for you guys to know what we're up to. And it's a mix of sunflowers, sun hemp, and forage soybeans. And the good thing about these
What are you doing? Are you having a stroke? Do we have to call an ambulance?
forage soybeans is when you have your typical soybean,
Ag beans.
ag beans, if you will, when the deer eats the soybean, soybean's gone.
Yeah.
With these forage beans,
And they're only, a foot or 2 high.
Yeah.
well,
less
they're taller than that. Soybeans?
Ag soybeans, I mean, max
They're
maybe
knee high.
2.5 max.
Knee a little higher.
I'd say a little bit higher than
Tom, get in the mic.
less than waist, higher than knee.
Yeah.
It's like 2,
Depends on how high your knee is.
Yeah.
or if it's below knee.
Anyway,
You're an idiot.
so these forage soybeans are more viney, and that's where the sun hemp and sunflowers come into play. So these beans will actually like wrap around these sunflowers
tall, yeah.
and sun hemp, and these beans will get 5-6 feet tall in the right conditions. So there's a never-ending supply of beans because when they eat the beans, they just regrow new
Yeah,
ones.
that's the special part about forage soybeans is
They
when they eat
replenish.
they just keep, like, as beans are eaten, it grows a new pod. Mm-hmm. So
And they're tall enough to where the deer will actually bed in them.
yeah, so you get the benefits of corn with bedding and the high protein of beans and endless plentifulness of it. So
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a big sell on the property this year, and
I'm excited for it.
I don't know anybody else that's doing it.
What brought you to this conclusion? Just thinking about it? Or did
No,
you
there's a company that produces.
He actually
the
thought
mix.
of it while taking a shower.
It was that. But basically, I learned about forage soybeans by reading articles, and then
About forage soybeans.
just about food plots and stuff for deer. And
nothing
actually,
about forage soybeans.
forage soybeans were mentioned. That's where I've also read about duck potatoes, but that's a different podcast.
We're not even talking about that today.
Can of worms we do not want to open.
I started looking up where I could get these forage soybeans, and it led me to a seed company that has them, and went from there. Ordered up enough for, I think, like 2 acres.
So
And-
they have the mix, like
Yeah.
they sell
Yeah.
the mix?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And if they want to give us some money, I'll tell you who they are,
Mm-hmm.
or you can mention, or you can just message me and I'll tell you. But it's
But we're
gonna be
not
called-
saying it on here.
Yeah. So Anyways, that's where that came from. But more on what deer can't get in these other ag fields is what led Tom to wanting to plant like the winter oats and the brassica and
Well, just one thing I wanted to touch on before we move on from the forage soybeans is great source of protein. So they're going to be eating them all summer long.
Do they taste better than regular soybeans?
I haven't tasted them.
I don't
so
know.
I
Because
love
regular
ag
soybeans are disgusting.
No. Were you at Ken and Barb's that night when she made those soybeans?
Probably.
Like if you get a soybean off the
Oh, I'll eat them all the time.
Oh,
Dude,
God, they're good.
they're-
They're way better than
They're
field
dry
corn.
and bitter. I don't like them.
Do you
I
eat
pick-
field corn?
No.
Yeah.
I don't
I
like
like
that either.
soybeans way more than
But
field
like
corn.
if you have like turnips and radishes, like
I
I'll
pick-
eat that shit all night.
If I'm hunting turnips, I'm picking one.
Oh, me too. When we were tracking Tom's one deer, I ate like 6 of them. I just kept pulling them out of the
That's
ground.
another thing. People don't realize that just because it says not for human consumption, it's totally safe.
Doesn't mean you can't eat it.
I love turnips. Raw turnips straight out of the ground. Nice, spicy.
Pull them out, just wipe the dirt off, and you're good to go.
Yeah.
Anyway, these soybeans, I don't know what she marinated them in, but she put them in the oven, and then basically you just grab the soybean, put it in your mouth,
And
suck
eat
the
it?
seed. No, you don't eat the whole thing.
You don't
'cause
eat the pod. You
yeah,
just
you
eat the
just-
pea.
you just
the
suck the
peas, the beans.
beans right out of it. Really good.
So you're thinking we're gonna do that at the cabin?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, that's I didn't know that's where you're going with that, but
No, I don't know how we got on this, but
Because I asked.
because
if
you said one more thing before we go off of the
Yeah,
forage soybean.
yeah,
but
but then I asked if the forage soybeans taste better than like
I
ag
don't know.
soybeans.
I don't know. I've never had forage beans.
Okay.
But what I do know is all summer long they're a great source of protein, which will promote antler growth for these
Excellent.
deer.
Excellent.
So that's good. Because we want
you don't have
bigger
to.
bucks.
You don't, yeah.
So that's good.
During early season, I think it's going to be a great early season food plot. When they yellow, I don't think they're going to be as hot. But come late season, when it's easy food for them, because they're
not in the
5,
snow,
6
yeah.
feet tall, when they're easy access to the deer, I think it's really going to kick on again during gun season and muzzleloader season. So
I
what
agree.
what we try and do is we want to give.
We can hear that on the mic. Quit tapping the table.
I'm getting into this. What we try and do is give the deer something to eat year round.
You're like playing a piano up there.
Yeah, I don't have the foot pedals though. So we got the forage soybeans. That's going to be our early season, like summer, early season, and late season, like
Yeah.
December, January. It's closed in New York come January, but they'll still. We want to feed them.
Yeah, they'll be eating it. Yeah, help them stay alive through the winter.
So, what else we're gonna have is clover and chicory. And that's going to be another. Like
I'd rather eat clover than ag soybeans.
I would rather eat chicory than clover.
Well, me too, but I'm just saying I would rather eat clover.
Clover is it doesn't really do much for me.
Yeah, but it's better than ag soybeans.
My favorite are turnips.
Yes, but we're talking
My
about.
favorite, honestly, is going through Grandpa's orchard and
Yeah, the
picking
apples-
apples.
if
and
we're
Yeah,
talking-
pears.
I'm
we're
excited
talking-
for the apples.
Yeah, about 5-6 years, and we'll be doing that.
Anyway,
Anyway, so we got clover and chicory, and that's going to be like our late early season to mid season.
close to the rut.
You put like pre-rut.
Yeah.
Like pre-rut,
That's why I said close.
close
to
to
the rut.
rut. Yeah. That's going to be like I'm just spitballing here, October 15th to November.
Yeah, but I mean the
1st.
clover is something that they'll eat year round.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, they'll eat year round, but I'm just trying to it's going to be I think that's where you want to be.
Yeah.
He's trying to paint the picture, Nick.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And you keep.
Well, it's not where they
snatching
want to
his
be. It's where
brush.
we want to be.
because that's where they're going to be.
No, I'm saying like the
No,
listener.
they is the deer.
Oh, okay.
That's where the deer are going to be. So
Got
in
it.
turn, that's where we're going to be.
Ipso facto.
I'm your boss. And on top of that, we're also going to be doing brassica, radishes, turnips, and that's going to be the late season. That's going to be the rut because I don't know what it is. I do know what it is.
Tell us, Tom.
After
Oh, you're an idiot.
after it really gets hot after the first frost, because the thing of it is after the first frost, all those sugars get sucked up right to the leaves and they become super sweet. So, you ever hear about hunting the first frost?
Love it.
Yeah.
I've killed a lot of deer on the first frost.
Yeah, if you can hunt a brassica food plot or a turnip food plot on the first frost, it should honestly be illegal to hunt those food plots on the first frost, because it's a slam dunk.
I killed my first archery buck on the first frost of the year one time.
Yeah,
It was a long time ago.
It's almost as good as the first snow. Might be better than the first snow. I don't know.
Yeah, it's close.
It's a coin flip. Either way, so the deer, they'll eat the greens during the summer. They'll browse on them, if you will.
But we want to pump those high protein stuff
Yeah.
like the beans into them while in the growing months.
Right. But once that first frost comes, then they're really going to hammer those greens on the turnips, the radishes, and the brassica. And the good thing about those food plots is then after it snows and everything's covered, I don't know why the deer, they just love digging for turnips.
Well, they have to. By that
It's not that
point,
they love it. They have.
Oh, I think they love it.
well,
Favorite
you got to
pastime.
think
It's like baseball.
Typically, it's America's pastime. Typically, your corn and soybeans has been taken off the field by then.
Yeah.
Their acorns are pretty much gone by then. Dead of winter, all of your leaves for browse and stuff are pretty much gone. They're eating sticks and bark at this point. And they know that you've got those delicious...
Just under that dirt.
Yeah, just under the dirt and the snow, you got some delicious little radishes and turnips. And I think they know that that's a really good source of nutrients for them come that late season. And that's why they're digging, and that's why I like to hunt. That's where I got my buck this year, was on a turnip field.
Mm-hmm.
That works out well.
Yeah.
And
does.
we also have winter oats that we're going to do. And those are really good midsummer. Just kidding. Really good oats. That's why they're called winter oats.
Huh.
They're really good late season. Good source of, I don't know what grain.
Good source of
probably,
oats.
Probably starches. I don't know.
Good source of grain.
Yeah.
No, but what's the benefit of the winter oats is it's easy for them to eat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the
Easily
beans.
digestible as well. But because it's not under all the snow, it depends on how much snow you get. But instead of digging and wasting all that energy digging for radishes and other root sources, the oats are going to be standing at this point. Good source of food that way. So
Yeah.
and these are all related to that 30 acres of bedding we're planting. Like everything
Yeah.
is going to be in relation to those. So we're going to be adding transition areas in between these food sources and the bedding. So it gives the places $4 to set up. They're going to hang out there, 20, 30 minutes before dark, watching these food plots before they go out there at dark. And then that's where we can kind of set up our ambush points.
So we got good food for them all year round. Like we said, you got the foraged soybeans,
It's all
Clover,
looking good on
chicory.
paper.
brassica, turnips, radishes, winter oats.
Good
I think
stuff.
that's everything.
Yeah, that should be
We
about
tried this wildlife mix last year. Not
That
a
was
huge
bunch
fan.
of crap.
Yeah, it's kind of just a lot of
I
sorghum.
think it was like what was ever in the bottom of each barrel. They just put into a sack and said,
I think what they do is they take bird seed and
That's
they
what it
jack
looks
the
like.
price up and call it wildlife food plot mix.
Yeah, it looks like birdseed.
Yeah.
and it doesn't grow for shit.
Well, I think the birds eat it.
Birds love it.
If you got upland bird hunters, check it out.
Not if you're a songbird hunter. This
Or
is the stuff for
If
you.
you got somebody you hate, spread it around in their area.
Yeah.
I guess
I don't
beyond-
think it hurt anything. It just, I don't know what I don't know if deer eat sorghum. I don't
Well,
know.
corn's a sorghum.
Yeah,
but this it
but it
looks
grows
like
ears of corn on it.
Yeah.
yeah. It looks like corn, but there's no ears.
Oh, this was Dad's food plot, wasn't it? That he put in.
Yeah. Well, Grandpa, I don't know. He got like 6 bags of this wildlife mix, and he was just giving it out to everybody.
I think he knew.
He's like, this is a bunch of crap. You guys take it.
So
Probably won't be planting that again.
No.
But we live and we learn.
Yes, we do.
we don't plant 2-year-old beans.
It's another thing we learned.
Yeah.
It's a learning process.
Yeah.
So, you'll be able to stay updated on how this whole process.
Yeah,
goes
we're gonna
for
talk
us.
about it again.
Yeah, we're gonna be talking about it, and then we're gonna have some content to follow along with on our Instagram and stuff. And I'd like to actually start getting some more videos of the whole process.
Yeah.
I would too.
Down the road.
Oh, yep. Go ahead.
So, go ahead.
No. There's just one thing I was going to say. That when you get a bag of food plot mix, on the back there's instructions as far as like when the best time to plant it, how much lime you need, how much fertilizer you need. And when I was just young, getting into the food plot plant, I said, "Oh, horse shit, you don't need that." And I would just rototill it and spread the seed, and my food plots would turn out like shit.
Surprise.
Yeah, believe it or not. And I'm like, what the hell am I doing wrong?
Turns out you're not following the directions.
Yeah, well, turns out if you actually spend the extra silver,
It gets expensive.
it does get expensive. But if you spend the money to do it right and properly fertilize the soil, properly lime the soil, kill all the weeds beforehand, it's worth it in the end, because my food plots the past several years have been minus the beans.
We won't
talk about the beans. We had a lot of issues with weather this year that it sucked.
It was bad for beans.
Yeah, not good. But turnips turned out great. Radishes turned out great. Clover, chicory, can't complain. It was all good stuff.
Yeah.
Indeed.
So, as we wrap things up here, I just want to remind people to join the Patreon account.
Before you say get outside, I just want to make sure everyone has it driven into their brain that if it weren't for Andy Larsen, we wouldn't be here today.
Thank you, Andy.
Yes. So back over to Nick to whatever he has to say that's less important than Andy.
It's pretty important. Anyways, so we launched our Patreon account. For 17 cents a day, you can support the White Cat Outdoors podcast.
Could you just say $5 a month, please?
Or $60
It's
a year.
driving me nuts. Every time he texted me about it, he said 17 cents. Like, say $5 a month.
$5 a month. $5 a month. That's all it is. And what that does, if you're one of the first 20, which I would try to, because it's a 1 in 20 chance at a $500 setup.
Yeah.
I mean,
Of your choice.
of your choice, yeah. So like if you're like,
Of three choices.
I mean, it's a mobile setup. It's no secret that being mobile ups your chances
For sure.
of killing deer. But not everybody is comfortable with hanging sticks. Not everybody's comfortable in a sex swing. Not everybody
It's
likes
called
climber.
a saddle.
Saddle.
That's yeah.
You know,
Same thing.
not everybody likes to hunt out of a climber. But so we're going to give you that option. It's a 1 in 20 chance. I can't stress that enough.
Yeah.
1 in 20. There's not a single raffle
That's
out
better
there.
odds than hitting the lottery.
It's a lot
And
better.
you still play the lottery.
Yeah. And it costs more to do that.
How much does it cost a day, Nick?
Like $1.70 or something like that. Unless you start doing power plays and stuff. It
No,
gets
I
expensive.
thought he was talking about to join the Patreon.
Oh, 17 cents a day.
Of course.
Or 34 if you want to double your chances.
Yes.
But anyways,
I think you should have reworked that a little bit.
what?
There's no deal for.
Oh, funny you say that, Tom. There is.
It's like when you go to Walmart and they have like bags of chips for $2, or you could get 2 for $4. Like,
I'm actually really glad you brought this up, because if you decide that you want to double your chances, you also you get to join us on the podcast, and we're going to do a whole podcast talking about. It's already written in there. I'm not just making this up. It's already in there. You can check it now. It's
It
there.
is set in stone.
Join us on the podcast, and we're just going to talk about whatever gets you outside. Kind of puts you in like an elite group. It's actually the Booner membership.
There you go.
That gets you into that. $5 a month is the Pope and Young.
wait, so did the $10 a month, does that guarantee you a podcast or put you in a drawing to be on the podcast?
No, I mean, unless you're like a dirtbag, but if you're going to give us $10 a month, I know you're not a dirtbag, so you're going to do a podcast with us if you want.
I love that.
Because, I mean, I want to hear from the people that are also getting outside.
Yeah.
And if you're willing to support us like that,
We're all about meeting
Yeah.
new people and especially talking with our listeners. We love
Yeah.
talking with our listeners.
yeah,
Yeah.
shoot us messages. Leave it in the comments for Tom. He
Yes.
handles all that. But anyways, yeah, so 17, I'm just kidding. $5 a month. Join us up, and you're going to get a sweet USA-made mobile hunting system of your choice.
A chance at one.
Yeah, a chance at one. A chance at one. Thank you, Tom.
Yeah,
But
Don't want to start guaranteeing
Yeah.
shit.
but after the
A
first
1 in 20 chance.
Yeah,
if
1 in
you're
20.
one of the first 20.
Yeah. And if you're not one of the first 20, it's okay. We are going to be doing giveaways every 3 months.
Quarterly, if you will.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I mean, it could be anywhere from another mobile setup. It could be binoculars. It could be a sweet ass pack. Maybe a set of camo.
Some White Cat apparel.
Yeah, White Cat apparel could be in there. It's all kind of. It's going to be good shit though. That's the thing. Like we're not.
Yeah.
We're not going to be giving away like a set of broadheads.
Yeah.
No. Like this is going to be good stuff. Like a T&K hunting gear, like one of their bino harnesses or something. Like this is going to be like good stuff.
I mean, broadheads are good stuff. It's like $40.
That
Unless
could be part of a package.
Yeah,
We're not
part
just
of
going to say,
I'm
here's
saying,
a pack of
like
broadheads.
here you're going to give us $60 a year. Here's a $30. Like the prizes are always going to be more than what you're giving us. Like we want to give more than you're giving.
Yeah.
Basically.
Give more than you receive, Tom.
Yeah, it's the way
Help
this world
us
goes.
help you.
Exactly. So join in on that. I mean, if that didn't sell it, I don't know what
Yeah.
would. So
Bunch of bums out
yeah,
there.
be one of the first 20.
And get into a chance at a $500 mobile setup.
1 in 20.
One
I don't know
and
how
20.
many more times we could say it.
Yeah, I think we're
17
done.
cents a day.
I think we're done saying both of those things.
Do you know what we're not done saying, Frank?
What?
Get outside.